Hey, you're watching Laura Marano in my own words.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's start off from the beginning.
Yes.
Fifth grader.
I mean, we have to start with fifth grader.
We gotta start with fifth grader.
We gotta start with fifth grader.
How do you pass that? Do you have to take a test? Do they call you? How does that even take place?
Well, first of all, I gotta say, I feel pretty honored that I am an OG, an original grader, obviously. So I was on the first season of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And basically how it worked was, yeah, you kind of audition for like any other thing, and it was different than any other job I'd ever auditioned for on the acting side because I was playing myself. It was literally kind of about how, not intelligent I am, but like how much information I knew. So you did kind of get tested a little bit. And then when I got it, I was like pretty excited. It was the one thing, the first thing in my life that my friends could actually watch, because every other thing I'd ever done was like R-rated or really intense or on Showtime. So I was super excited about that, but it was stressful, man. It was like doing homework, pretty intensive homework every night. So what they would do is they would give you 100 questions and you had to answer the 100 questions. And there's probably like 25 to 50 questions that would actually be on the show. So you did have like some preparation, but it was like doing homework. It was nuts. It was so funny as a kid because you did feel super empowered and you were just like, yeah, I'm smarter than you, adult. What? I never did that, but inside I was doing that.
Sounds funny you should say that because now I have a few fifth grade questions.
Oh no!
We're gonna start this off with a bang. I don't even cut to the chase.
No!
I have a few. And I'm going to ask you them, and you can answer them. And they are about 5 fifth grade questions.
Okay.
Well, so here we go. Which one of these is a primary source? Britney Spears' diary, a tabloid article about Britney Spears, or something my friend heard about Britney Spears?
Britney Spears' diary.
Okay, you got that right? Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Lines that are parallel, cross, never touch, get weighted.
Never touch. Oh, I got this.
Okay.
I got this.
Okay.
Oh, you're easing me in. You're like, it starts getting really hard. Of course it does.
Which layer of the earth do humans live on? The core, the crust, the mantle, or the grassy part?
Oh, man, that's a hard one. Okay. You said core, mantle, or crust?
Or grassy part.
Man, that's hard. I'm between mantle and crust. I'm gonna say we live on the mantle.
No, I'm not.
Ah!
What is the color of George Washington's white horse?
What is the color of George Washington's white horse?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is definitely a trick one. Because you're calling it a white horse, but I'm guessing it's not a white horse. Oh, this one's tough. This one is definitely one where you're like, when people were watching the show, they were like, do fifth graders actually notice? Did we actually learn this? Okay, I'm gonna say George Washington's white horse was, I'm between white or black. We're gonna say white.
Of course it's white.
Well,
I'm shocked that it took you that long.
Well, because it would seem like a trick question.
I know I'm being irrational. Right now I'm a little bit flammable, so you better watch out. Watch out. I know I'm dressing so casual. It might be laying diagonal, 'cause I'm all alone now. Right now. In 3 words, my heart hurts. So why do I feel it in my whole body? All over, it's the worst. Feeling down has just become a hobby. I'll stand on my feet, but not today. I'll hit delete, throw it all away. I'll be so sweet right to your face. But when you leave, just let me cry. Get it all out, baby.
Passion-wise, music was always my number one. I always loved music. I was writing songs, not good songs, like I was 3, but writing songs and wanting to perform them ever since I can remember. Now, acting came first because my sister and I were lucky enough that my mom had kind of connections in the acting world. Like, nobody in my family does music. So I started acting when I was 5, and I kind of fell into it because my sister wanted to be an actress, and so you want to follow what your big sister does, and I ended up falling in love with it, and I'm so happy that I did it and I'm doing it. But music kind of was always number one, and it was just funny because I now feel like acting is such a huge part of my life, and I can't imagine life without it. But I will always just kind of burn for music. I remember that I literally recorded and wrote music kind of in an amateur way when I was 12 or 13. I put it on MySpace, I put it on my SoundCloud, and so I was always trying to put myself out there. And then I got Austin Alley, and I was really lucky because that show was all about music. I mean, it was a show where I got to act and sing and even write a song for the show. So it was like everything was coming together. It was legitimately the best thing ever. And so that opened a lot of doors for me musically. So from there, I got my first record deal. I got my music managers. Then I ended up getting my second record deal. And, it was a very chaotic time for me musically, super, super chaotic. It's such a different business than acting, and, getting used to that, and, getting used to a completely different set of politics that's in the music industry versus the film and television industry. I, finally last year kind of made the decision of why am I following someone else's rules when one of my favorite parts about music is you don't have to rely on other people. In the acting industry, you literally rely on other people. You get your job based on other people. Music, you don't really have to do that. It's kind of all on you. It's a lot harder and scary and a whole bunch of other challenges, but you can do it on your own. And so I've been doing it on my own since October.
What's the title of the latest release?
The latest song is called FEOU. I'll have you listen to the song to figure out what it stands for. And my EP, so my first EP, actually my first EP ever, I was going to say my first EP as an independent artist, but my first EP ever is coming out March 8th, which will have FEOU, it'll have Me, it'll have Let Me Cry. These are all 3 songs that I've released in the past few months, and it'll have 2 new ones. I am just continuously balancing acting and music, which is challenging, but I will say what I've kind of realized in the last year is if I am able to be in control of my music career on the independent label side, and I'm able to be in charge of my acting career in some aspects like producing. My sister, my mom, and I produced a movie this year that's coming out in the summer. It's called Saving Zoe. But if I'm able to do that, when you have control, obviously there's still factors you have to consider and figure out when you're trying to do both. But I'm definitely liking the past few months that I have a say of when I want to release stuff, how to release it, what to release. And I think that makes it, the balancing act, a little bit more manageable. Still tough, but more manageable. So my kind of plans for 2019 is quite a few movies that I'm going to be in are coming out, which I'm so excited. I haven't even shot one yet, but it's coming out at the end of 2019. Shooting that very soon. And then some more stuff I can't totally talk about, and just a lot of more music on the way.
I think how could you look on my body?
Working with family, is that easier or harder? Because then again, working with family, the filter is off.
Oh, 100%. So both. Easier and harder. Easier in so many ways because we do really know what we're thinking, and luckily we do have a lot of the same taste. Harder because it's your family. It's my mom, it's my sister. We know each other so well, better than anyone else in the world, and with that comes exactly what you said. No filter at all, when it is literally needed. Both my mom and sister are such strong, willful, amazing women, and I find myself being kind of the peacemaker sometimes. I'm like, okay, come on. This is what we're gonna do, guys. We can do this. Let's take a breath. But I love it. I really loved it. I thought it was a really special experience, and I want to do it again. I want to do it over and over again, really, actually.
Well, how did it start? Take me from the beginning.
Okay, so once upon a time, it started 11 years ago, where basically my sister and I were going through a bit of a rough patch in our acting career. So I was 11, it was 12 years ago, math, fifth grader. So I was 11, Vanessa was 14, and we went through kind of, you know, as the acting business goes, you have your ups and downs, and we went through kind of a down. And my mom, who has been in the film and television business for a very, very long time, she was like, why aren't we being in control of our careers? Like, why don't we option a book and try to like make it happen? And so she gave me a few books that had like teenage girls on the cover, and she's like, I'm the reader in the family, so she's like, read them, tell me what you think. And so we read them. I'm 11, like I don't know about this stuff, but I read all these books and I did like them. But Saving Zoe was just, it was just so special, and I connected with it so much. And it was about sisters, which that looks out, but it was such a great book. And so I went to my mom, like, this one's really special, you should read it. So my mom read it. She's like, oh, this is really, really good. And so then we got my sister to read it. She's not really the big reader, and we were like, okay, if we're gonna meet the author, we wanna make sure all three of us are into it. Vanessa read it, she really loved it. So we met the author, Allison, and just connected with her like crazy. She was amazing, and kind of a short little tidbit that I think is so special is while she was writing the book, she happened to be watching Gilmore Girls that season, and who was on Gilmore Girls but my sister. So she was literally seeing my sister as she was writing this book. Not saying like she based it off her or anything, but it was like that weird connection of she really connected this book with watching Gilmore Girls that season. So we met her, absolutely loved each other, and she trusted us and gave us the option to her book. Now, we obviously didn't make it until 2 years ago, so we were really lucky that she continuously trusted us year after year and really, really gave us, you know, not just the confidence, but like the reassurance that we didn't even have, that she trusted we would make this movie. And so sure enough, we'd constantly, every year, really been trying to make it happen. And, you know, we started working on the script with these two amazing writers that the director knew, and we workshopped it for like a year and a half, 2 years, and finally kind of all the stars aligned, and we had the script, we had people who wanted to make it, we showed them the script, they loved the script, and we made the film. So my Twitter and Instagram is just my name, Laura Marano, but I'm gonna spell that for you because people sometimes misspell it, and it's okay. But it's Laura, Laura, Marano. And then my Facebook is Laura Marano Official. Hey, what's up? My name is Laura Marano, and you've just been buzzed.